Welcome to Man Cove Wellbeing, and today an MCW member shares a little bit about their story. Please read the disclaimer before watching. This can be found in the description of the video on YouTube. The disclaimer covers the intention of the video, where we source the information, audio and footage for this production. The videos on this channel and its content are not a substitute for the support and guidance of a qualified health professional. The people featured in this video are in no way associated with the story or representative of MCW. We share others' content, and what you hear in this video does not represent the views and opinions of MCW as a whole. We want to thank every woman who shares a story about men in their life with the MCW community. If you have a story to share, then please contact us so we can inspire others with their journey and yours as a woman looking on. Thank you. Please watch and listen with care. The content of this video and audio may be triggering or may make you feel uncomfortable. Please press the stop button and return to the video when you feel ready. Always put yourself first and seek the guidance of a health professional. Thank you.
When your dad makes the choice to leave this earth plane, it weighs heavily down on you. Could you have done more? You question yourself and feel pangs of guilt that you couldn't stop him from being so unhappy. You experience your life differently. Not a day goes past where we don't think of our dad. My sisters have since got married and produced beautiful children. He never got to give away any of his 3 daughters. He would have been a great granddad now, as my children are now parents themselves. We are sad in the knowledge that Dad never got to meet them. However, we do see him in each other and our children. My dad wasn't your typical dad. He was more like my uplifting friend, although at times he could be quite harsh. Dad had a very lucrative career and could afford the finer things in life. In his mid-50s, he was made redundant. That hit him hard, but he set up various businesses and got on with it. I was a single mum, and Dad would pop in on a whim. He was like a breeze. He would then be gone, and I had no idea of when I was going to see him again. He would go about travelling, gigs, festivals. He was up for anything. He once stood in for an ex-boyfriend last minute to complete an assault course. He was in his late 40s. How ladies cooed. Friends would bump into him. One time he forgot my birthday but bumped into me. He threw money at me, twinkled those blue eyes, and made me the happiest girl in the world. He loved to have fun, but wasn't to be tied down. I was one of 3 daughters. My mum and dad split up approximately 8 years before he died. He had been a selfish husband, if I'm honest. Although he went through a period of mourning, Dad did what he always did when the going got tough. He just got on with it, dating various ladies along the way. Women loved him, men too. He had those twinkly blue eyes. Then one day Dad met a lady who turned his world upside down. They were both players and would wind each other up. It seemed like a good match. She had been on to Dad when he had taken her to the pub. The waitress appeared to know him well. A single parent living with her teenage children, she had many debts. Dad fell for her hard. He became softer, more understanding, started to worry. He started to be more open. I thought at the time this was a good thing because a lot had happened in the past, but this melted away when we talked it through. He started to pop in to see me more and was more understanding. We hadn't spoken for a long time after I had left home. He started to open up to me. His girlfriend seemed nice, but very much took a dislike to my sisters. I found out at a later date that she thought the same about me. If only we had the time to talk. Dad decided to help her to get out of debt and invested in some land. The idea was that she would project manage the properties and would pay back Dad when the flat sold. She would then keep the rest, thus relieving her of her debt. Sadly, this roller coastered our dad into a world of depression. Dad pulled back. I had no idea until I got a phone call from one of my sisters. Dad had been caught trying to swallow some bleach. I rushed round with flowers and some food. The man that greeted me was a worried man, a man who had the weight of the world on his shoulders. His curtains were drawn and he was peering out of them like a frightened deer. It took me half an hour to get into his kitchen. Suddenly, he was focused on crumbs, holding his head and feeling so guilty. My dad cried. He talked about my mum. He was so sorry. He kept hugging me and telling me he was so sorry for being so selfish. He said it was like demons had come to get him. My dad didn't do this. We talked for hours. He hugged me and apologised over and over again. He told me that it had been okay for me when I had fallen into the depression trap, as I was young. He was old and he could never show his face at the golf club again. I tried to reason with him. I worked in mental health. I knew tools and coping strategies. I knew that he could recover. I could see that there was no reasoning with him. I left and called various family members. I told them that he would kill himself. Sadly, I was told that he wasn't like me. Then I got the call I knew that would be coming. My dad's life had ended. We blamed the crisis team and the GP for not doing anything, only to find out that his girlfriend had turned her phone off. They were unable to make contact despite trying. She had been with him and had popped to the shops and had come back to find our dad dead. He had used our electric kitchen knife to slit his own throat. Something that after his death stays with me is that I had taken an overdose many years before. I ended up in hospital. Dad hadn't understood this and thought it was just miserable people. I wrote a poem that he said had helped him understand. He thought it should be in the Sunday Times. He understood now because his world had fallen apart. It echoed in my head as the last time I saw him he had been sorry. I had tried to comfort him, but it hadn't been enough. My life hadn't been kind then. Now his life had taken a turn for the worst. Depression and anxiety are cruel game masters. After his death, we clung together. My daughter chose to go to school. She went to school across the road from where he lived. People had already heard. My children had lost their granddad. I switched to automatic pilot. Life became a blur of feeling like the Walking Dead. We were very raw but understanding towards his girlfriend. We genuinely felt for her. We then ended up embroiled in a tragic and emotive court case. His girlfriend had claimed that she had lived with Dad and pursued his pension, savings and house. A long court case ensued, which was devastating for all of us. Dad had made a will, but this didn't seem to be taken into account. We had to settle eventually, as to pursue would potentially bankrupt us. My sisters cried straight away. I don't think anyone understood why I didn't. I knew it was coming, and his lack of presence hit me months later. People avoided us. They just didn't know what to say. People just do not realise that this could happen to anyone. There is a whole us and them that surrounds mental health problems. In some way, I feel that Dad's own judgments had added to his overwhelming feelings. The people he had surrounded himself with would have viewed mental health in the same way that he once did. He felt ruined, stigmatised. When your life crumbles around you, you fight and you fight. Then suddenly the serotonin depletes, leaving you a juddering mess. The human brain can only take so much, and without the right kind of love and support, how can you fight that black dog on your door? I have worked with many people over the years that have had mental health problems. A lot of the time they have had vitamin deficiencies, real life problems, histories of abuse. It's not the same that happens to miserable people. I've listened and I've learnt. I now pride myself on my mental health toolkit. I have a burning passion for using these experiences. I have been told that I am good at what I do. I myself have been through a lot and believe you get better or bitter. It is often the life and the soul of the party, the popular ones that seem to have it all, or that person that is there for others that ends up depleting their own resources. If someone is open and suddenly they pull away, they won't talk about it. If they do, it's serious. Make time for them. If you are a man and your strength is depleting, please reach out. We live in a world where everyone is connected all of the time, but not in the right way. There is no replacement for real human contact. Switch off your phones, unplug from the matrix and nourish yourself because you deserve to.
Thank you for watching, and if you're seeking support with your emotional or mental health, please contact one of the helplines listed in the description of this video on YouTube. We hope this was useful, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, and even provide your own content, please subscribe and contact us at the links below. Why not join the MCW community and support our mission by becoming a patron today? With a host of benefits, exclusive access to patron-only content, and helping us make the change. We want to thank our patrons listed above. We want to thank all men and women who share their stories with us. That's all from us today, and we'll see you soon.